Hold up, have you heard of the infamous duo of Miraidon and Calyrex-Ice Rider? If you're a competitive Pokemon player, you have probably played against many different Miraidon and Calyrex-Ice Rider teams because they are the strongest restricted duo in the format. So, for the next 100 games, I'm gonna try and learn everything about Miraidon and Calyrex-Ice Rider in 3 steps. 1. Think about what I already know about the restricted duo. 2. Researching any successful teams. And 3. Playing ladder games. So let's get started. Calyrex-Ice Rider and Miraidon are a strong pairing because they play off of each other very well because of something called Bolt Beam. Bolt Beam is a term coined by competitive battlers where Pokemon use both Thunderbolt and Ice Beam. If a Pokemon has a combination of both, barely any Pokemon resist both typing, making it a very hard-hitting synergy. But in our case, we are facing Bolt Beam to the extreme in Electro Drift and Glacial Lance. Having both Ice Rider and Miraidon creates for a dynamic scenario in both team building and team select because both Pokemon are at the opposite ends of the spectrum of the speed stat. So, when team building, you'll have a Trick Room mode with Ice Rider and a Tailwind mode with Miraidon, generally speaking. Though this flexibility seems nice, it's very difficult for players to maneuver since having more options for gameplay can cause for more areas for air. Miraidon in itself is such a strong Pokemon in the meta thanks to the amount of multipliers it gets and also with its insane synergy with Quark Drive Pokemon. Now let's do some research on different Miraidon and Ice Rider teams. There are 4 different Miraidon and Ice Rider teams I'll be using. The first being the most standard and easiest to pilot, and each team after it increasing in difficulty to pilot. Credits to all the team builders in the comment section down below. And if you want to play any of these teams, the Pokepaste and Vental code is in the description down below. The first Miraidon team is the most standard Miraidon team with max speed Miraidon and a slew of supporting Pokemon. This team is the exact replica of the winner of the World 2024, Luca Ceribelli's team, and just switching out Whimsicott for Calyrex-Ice Rider. Before I even get started playing these games, I have so many questions about this team, like what Pokemon is my lead? When to press Volt Switch or Electro Drift? When to use Reflect or Light Screen or Thunder Wave? How do I Trick Room in a way so my Miraidon can clean up after Trick Room? Initially, this team felt very difficult to maneuver because it was my first time using Miraidon and Calyrex-Ice Rider. Though I felt like I should have lost the first couple of games, I actually won them probably because we are currently in the lowest elo possible. As I played more matches, I understood the basics of this team. Almost always bring Iron Hands if the opponent is running a Trick Room team, bring Ogerpon Heartflame against Terrapago Spore teams, and bring Farigiraf if they have many priority moves like Fake Out. And Grimmsnarl was basically a staple for me in every match alongside Miraidon and Calyrex-Ice Rider. In game 13, my opponent brought something very interesting. Alolan Ninetales with Snow Warning Aurora Veil and Calyrex-Ice Rider, getting a 50% defense boost in the snow, making it even more bulkier. Not much happened this game, just an absolute steamroll by your boy. Anyways, this win granted me with 1400 elo. In game 17, I did something I've never done before. Not bring Miraidon. My opponent had a Rhydon with Eviolite, Lightning Rod, and Terra Fairy, which would basically deem my Miraidon utterly useless. So instead, the 4 Pokemon I brought in were Grimmsnarl, Calyrex-Ice Rider, Ogerpon, and Farigiraf. This was one of the worst games yet because my opponent was predicting very well. However, later in the match, I realized one fatal flaw my opponent was making. He is predicting successfully, but if he fails to predict correctly each turn, they lose a lot of their lead. So, on turn 4, I decided to take a risk. Terra Water Calyrex-Ice Rider Trick Room into Spiky Shield Ogerpon Heartflame, thinking that the Zacian Crown would protect, and Kyogre presses Origin Pulse or Water Spout. And lo and behold, that's exactly how it turned out. With 4 turns of Trick Room left, this game was an easy cleanup for my Ice Rider and Ogerpon Heartflame, and I managed to claw my way back to a victory. The record for the first team was 19 wins and 6 losses, and gaining a total of 371 elo. This team was very easy to play, pick up, and understand. Even though the only Pokemon I have previously played with was Farigiraf, I felt like each Pokemon's role in the team was very clear, and therefore allowing me to understand each Pokemon into a different battle. I would recommend this team for anyone just starting out in competitive. For Team 2, we are running something a little different. A different Miraidon set and a different Calyrex-Ice Rider set. Leech Seed Calyrex-Ice Rider usage has seen a drastic increase after the Uterex Special Championship. Because of Calyrex-Ice Rider's natural bulk, this Pokemon is very difficult to KO and can slowly drain the life away from your opponent thanks to Leech Seed. This Miraidon is a bulky Miraidon with not as much speed investment and therefore being able to play under Trick Room even though it has a 135 speed stat. The same can be said for our Urshifu Vapor Strike with only 20 EV investment into our speed, and our Landorus Therian with only 4 investment into speed. And honestly, I didn't realize how drastically the restricted pairing playstyle changed until the 28th game, where I played against a mirror matchup. And to put it simply, I got manhandled, outpredicted, and outpositioned. This is the battle where I learned that this team is a pseudo stall team with moves like Leech Seed, Thunder Wave, Reflect, Light Screen, Knock Off, Fake Out, Protect, and U-Turn to be an absolute pest. I also got to experience firsthand how annoying Leech Seed Calyrex-Ice Rider is. Like, what Pokemon can truly stop this monster? And I directly applied this knowledge into game 30, where I was a little rat spamming Leech Seed, and frankly, there's nothing he could have done about it. And after turn 7, he forfeited. But when game 39 came around, I saw the true power of my opponent's duo, Terapagos and Smeargle. Now, Miraidon is used to prevent any sleep from Spore thanks to Miraidon setting up electric terrain. However, when Terapagos terrestrializes, all terrain and weather on the field goes away, allowing Smeargle to sleep a Pokemon. So unfortunately, my Calyrex-Ice Rider had to take a nap. I had a clutch wake up on turn 5, which definitely turned the tide of the battle, but with an unfortunate miss of Leech Seed, this game was down to the wire. But thanks to my very late turn 9 Trick Room, I somehow ran away with the win. The more I played with this team, the better and more comfortable I got. And even in game 48, I was able to predict my opponent's switch into Miraidon for a game-winning Earth Power prediction. The record for my second team was 15 wins and 10 losses, gaining a total of 87 ELO. Though this may not seem as much as the first team, firstly, I was playing in a higher ELO, and the ELO gain in low ELO is a lot higher to push newer accounts to their proper MMR. If I had to be honest, I don't like this team as much as the first team because of the supporting Pokemon. I much rather prefer having Farigiraf and Iron Hands than Incineroar and Landorus Incarnate. My only gripe about the first team is that it lacks an annoying Leech Seed potential of the second team, Fast Miraidon, which is unable to play under Trick Room. Much like the first team, this one was pretty easy to pick up, but the real difficulty with this team lies with the right situation to bring Urshifu, Rapid Strike, Incineroar, and Landorus Incarnate. Now moving on to Team 3. Team 3 has the same set of Calyrex-Ice Rider running Leech Seed, with the leftover set, and every Pokemon on the team is deliberately EV to be slow, even Miraidon. Ursaluna brings raw power into the team with a scary 130 base attack stat alongside Guts, whereas Volcarona brings utility moves like Struggle Bug, Rage Powder, and Tailwind. Tailwind is not used that often with this team because the team is naturally slow and is built for Trick Room, but there are some use cases against certain teams. Then, to round out the team, we got two familiar faces, Grimmsnarl and Iron Hand. In game 55, I ran into a Miraidon and Zamazenta team, a pairing that I haven't seen before. I felt like the opponent's team was very fast with Miraidon, Zamazenta, and Chimpal being three of the fastest Pokemon in the format. So in this battle, I want to heavily abuse Trick Room. I actually managed to set up 2 Trick Rooms this game and win the game without even showing my Miraidon. This marks the first 5-0 start I've had for any team. 5 games in with this comp, and I still haven't touched the Iron Hands and Volcarona combo. I am not worried as much with Iron Hands because I used it with the first team, but Volcarona isn't a Pokemon I have much experience with, aside from being a hard sweeper in singles with Quiverdale. Fast forwarding to game 62, my opponent makes an insane prediction and body presses my Miraidon slot, killing my Ursaluna. After the game, I asked myself, was my Volt Switch play too obvious? I look up what elo I'm at. I'm 16-14 and this guy is 17-26. To put it into context, I was playing against the top 150 ladder player. One more win and I finally hit top 500 with Calyrex-Ice Rider and Miraidon. And honestly, it felt very surreal, knowing I got here by not grinding one comfort team, but by constantly switching teams, learning on the fly, and adapting as I went. Then I end up losing 6 straight games, but let's celebrate the wins. We're on to game 70, where we almost see a mirror team, with Ursaluna and Farigiraf being the handshake. This time, I don't know why, but I have a gut feeling that running Tailwind is better and not bringing in Calyrex-Ice Rider. I just think Ice Rider is going to be slowed down real hard by Iron Hands and Farigiraf, so it was a gamble. But did the gamble pay off? The 4 Pokemon I run are Miraidon, Iron Hands, Volcarona, and Ursaluna. Volcarona died turn 1 instantly to Miraidon's Electro Chip, but that's fine because I got a ton of chip on Calyrex-Ice Rider and killed Miraidon. Though my game plan didn't go into fruition by turn 1 Tailwind, then the game was really easy, with Ursaluna safely cleaning up every single Pokemon left. After playing around 70 games of Miraidon and Calyrex-Ice Rider, I realized that I would lean way too hard on my restricted Pokemon when it comes to Terra choices. Sometimes Terra-ing support Pokemon can benefit a lot more from terrestrialization. When VOD reviewing, I felt like a lot of times I would be in better positions if I Terra Ghosted on Grimmsnarl, allowing it to let off another Light Screen, Reflect, or even another Thunder Wave. The record I had for this team was 15-10. I went plus 92 elo and my current elo is 1550. There's a huge celebration. we did hit 1600 and we were one game away from hitting top 500 if we didn't go on a 6-game losing streak. Again, like the second team, I think it was kind of difficult to know when to bring Ursaluna and when to bring Volcarona. I think I just really like Farigiraf as a Pokemon with the ability Armor Tail because it's so reliable and pressures opponents when they have any attacking priority moves. Team 3 and 4 is where I've recorded all the stats, and I will continue to do so in my 100-game series. Every game I brought Volcarona in, I won. In every game I terrestrialized Calyrex-Ice Rider, I had a significantly higher chance of winning. My most played lead and my most comfortable lead, Grimmsnarl and Calyrex-Ice Rider, and surprisingly only has a 53% win rate over the course of 15 games. Looking back, I wish I experimented with different leads aside from Calyrex-Ice Rider plus Miraidon and Grimmsnarl. My best matchups were Calyrex Shadow Rider, Kyogre, and Urshifu. Calyrex Shadow Rider probably because I have the most experience with Calyrex Shadow Rider, so I know what players want to do. On the other hand, none of my worst matchups really surprised me because they're all really difficult for different reasons. Miraidon because of the sun pressuring Kara onto my Calyrex Ice Rider, Miracle because of the combination of Decorate, Fake Out, and Spore, Incineroar because of Intimidate since my Ice Rider does not have the clear amulet and instead has the leftovers item, other Calyrex Ice Riders who are in a better position than me, and Rillaboom who shuts down Miraidon really well. Now, looking at the move usage, I almost never press Draco Meteor, and I didn't even press Heavy Slam on Iron Hand. I feel like I wasn't threatened by anything to click Draco Meteor, and would rather keep my special attack by clicking the other 3 moves. Let's move on to Team 4, where we are at the home stretch of games. This last team is the most interesting and out of left field teams I've seen yet. Just like the previous 2 teams, our whole team is slow aside from Iron Treads, and again we have Calyrex Ice Rider with no Leech Seed, but this time we have the GOAT Scraggy. Now the reason why Scraggy is used and Scrafty is not, Scraggy is slower than some important Pokemon under Trick Room, like Calyrex Ice Rider, Ursaluna, and Iron Hands. But it still has the benefits of Scrafty by having the Intimidate ability and Fake Out. Scraggy was brought out in Game 2 with the opponent having a hard Trick Room team. Unfortunately, Scraggy was never brought out because my other 3 Pokemon absolutely washed my opponent's Pokemon, aka a crit decided the game on turn 2. In Game 6, the Mirror Restricted Duel calls for the GOAT Scraggy again. Against their team comp, it just feels wrong not to bring Iron Treads because I think it can do a lot in this matchup. With no time left, the 4 Pokemon I bring are Farigiraf, Calyrex Ice Rider, Miraidon, and Scraggy. And I'll be 100% honest with you, my Scraggy didn't even do that much. And it was pretty disheartening to see. I'm sure that I did something wrong or misplayed somewhere with the Scraggy, but I do not know where. Definitely chalked it up to an execution error and a lack of understanding of how to use Scraggy. In Game 7, we bring Scraggy again because we see 2 Trick Room users as their restricted duo. This time, I see a very strong Iron Treads game, so I bring Iron Treads. And again, Scraggy didn't do that much, aside from killing the Indeedee female. I'm not so sure what I was thinking because I see a hard Trick Room team, and then I bring the Pokemon that is the most anti-Trick Room Pokemon known to man, with a max speed stack Quark Drive speed boost. I think I could have brought Iron Treads if I led with it alongside Miraidon. Otherwise, I feel like I shouldn't have brought it in the first place. And I'm gonna keep it a $150 with you guys. I performed pretty badly on this team. It's like when you look at your teammates' OP.GG on League of Legends and see your teammates' match history all red. With this team, I went 11-14, our first losing record with the team, and went minus 93 elo. This team was by far the hardest team to execute, and I'll be honest, even though I was playing this team for 25 games, I still don't know when to use Iron Treads or Scraggy effectively. Whereas the other teams, I was able to grasp the function of the team fairly quickly. I feel like this team really wants to run Trick Room with 2 Trick Roomers, and Iron Treads has max speed plus Quark Drive boost that gives 1.5 speed. And I don't know where to use that correctly. I honestly think that this team is very Giga Brain, another Galaxy type of team that I personally don't know how to use. If anyone knows how to use this team in the comment section down below, I would appreciate the explanation. Looking at the stats, things aren't looking so hot. Almost everything is negative win rate, even the Terras and Leads. Even their best matchup section is 50% win rate, nothing more, nothing less. My final record for the entire journey was 61 wins and 39 losses, and ending at an elo of 1457. Honestly, from the beginning, I had an idea why these 2 Pokemon were very strong, and my hunch was absolutely correct. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video, learned something new from this video, and I will be streaming the next 100 games on my YouTube channel. So if you're at this point of the video, if you could like, comment, and subscribe, I would appreciate it a lot. Until next time, peace.